What's up, Wrestlingverse family? Welcome back to the channel. And if you thought last week's SmackDown was crazy, then you need to sit down for this one because what just happened has completely blown the roof off the WWE universe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this news is massive. Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager, just held a press conference that has revealed the identity of Jacob Fatu's attacker, and I'm telling you right now, Wrestlingverse family, nobody saw this coming. The mystery that has had the entire wrestling world buzzing for days has finally been solved, and the answer is absolutely shocking. So get comfortable, grab some snacks, and prepare yourself because we're about to break down everything that was revealed, who the attacker is, why they did it, and what this means for the future of SmackDown. This is going to be wild. Let's go. Alright, let's set the stage for what just went down. After days of speculation, theories, and the entire WWE universe playing detective, Nick Aldis called an emergency press conference to address the brutal backstage attack on Jacob Fatu. The tension in the air was palpable as Aldis stepped up to the podium with a serious expression on his face. Nick Aldis opened the press conference by acknowledging the severity of the situation. He talked about how WWE takes the safety of its superstars incredibly seriously and how the attack on Jacob Fatu crossed every line imaginable. He mentioned that WE's security team, along with local authorities, had been working around the clock to review footage and gather evidence. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. Aldis announced that after a thorough investigation, reviewing countless hours of security footage, interviewing witnesses, and analyzing evidence, WWE had definitively identified Jacob Fatu's attacker. The room fell silent as everyone held their breath waiting for the name. And then Nick Aldis dropped the bombshell. He revealed that the person responsible for orchestrating and leading the brutal attack on Jacob Fatu was none other than someone very close to the situation, someone who had been flying under the radar, someone who nobody suspected. The reveal sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling community. The attacker turned out to be someone with deep personal motivation and a score to settle with Jacob Fatu. This wasn't a random act of violence or an opportunistic attack. This was calculated, personal, and years in the making. The revelation explained so many things that didn't make sense before and opened up an entirely new chapter in WWE storytelling. What made the reveal even more shocking was the reasoning behind the attack. Nick Aldis played video evidence showing the planning stages of the assault. We saw meetings, we saw strategy sessions, and we saw the meticulous preparation that went into taking down one of WWE's most dangerous superstars. This was premeditated on every level. The attacker had recruited a team of individuals to help carry out the assault. These weren't random people. They were carefully selected based on their abilities and their willingness to do whatever it took. Some were fellow wrestlers with their own grudges against Fatu, others were hired muscle brought in specifically for this job. It was a conspiracy in the truest sense. Nick Aldis revealed that the motive behind the attack stemmed from events that happened months ago. Jacob Fatu had crossed this person in a way that couldn't be forgiven or forgotten. Whether it was taking their championship opportunity, injuring them in a match, or disrespecting their family, the grudge ran deep. This wasn't just business, this was intensely personal. The evidence presented by Aldis was overwhelming and undeniable. Text messages planning the attack, security footage showing the attacker coordinating with accomplices, and testimony from witnesses who saw the planning stages. WWE had built an airtight case that left no room for doubt about who was responsible. What's particularly interesting is how the attacker managed to stay hidden for so long. They had deliberately positioned themselves in a way that kept them off the suspect list. They maintained a public persona that was completely opposite to what they were planning behind the scenes. It was masterful deception that almost worked perfectly. The WWE Universe's reaction to the reveal has been absolutely insane. Social media exploded the moment Nick Aldis announced the attacker's identity. Fans who had been theorizing and speculating suddenly had to reconcile their predictions with the truth. Some people called it, while others were completely blindsided. The discussion has been non-stop. Fellow WWE superstars have also been reacting to the revelation. Many expressed shock and betrayal, especially those who were close to the attacker and had no idea what they were planning. Others admitted they had suspicions but didn't want to believe it. The locker room dynamics have completely shifted now that the truth is out. Let's talk about what this means for Jacob Fatu moving forward. Now that he knows who attacked him and why, his desire for revenge will be stronger than ever. When Fatu returns from his injuries, and make no mistake he will return, the confrontation between him and his attacker is going to be absolutely explosive. This is personal now on a level we rarely see. The attacker, now exposed, faces serious consequences. Nick Aldis announced immediate disciplinary action including suspension, fines, and the possibility of criminal charges depending on what Jacob Fatu and WWE decide to pursue. But beyond the official punishment, they now have to deal with an angry Samoan warrior who will stop at nothing to get revenge. What's fascinating about this situation is the psychology behind it. The attacker believed that taking out Jacob Fatu would elevate their own position, would remove an obstacle, and would send a message to everyone else. Instead, they've painted a massive target on their back and guaranteed that their life in WWE is going to be incredibly difficult going forward. The reveal also exposed the accomplices who helped carry out the attack. Nick Aldis named names and showed faces of everyone involved in the conspiracy. These individuals are now facing their own consequences and will have to answer to both WWE management and Jacob Fatu himself. Nobody involved in this attack is going to escape justice. One of the most shocking aspects of the reveal was learning how long this had been planned. This wasn't something decided a week before it happened. The evidence showed that the attacker had been plotting this for months, waiting for the perfect moment, studying Fatu's patterns and routines. The level of obsession and dedication to revenge was disturbing. The footage that Nick Aldis presented showed the actual attack from multiple angles. We saw the attacker giving orders, directing their accomplices, and personally participating in the assault. There was no denying their involvement and their leadership role in what happened. They were the mastermind, and everyone else was just following orders. What makes this even more compelling is the history between Jacob Fatu and his attacker. When you go back and watch previous episodes with the knowledge of who the attacker is, you can see subtle hints and foreshadowing. Looks that were exchanged, comments that seemed innocent at the time, and positioning during segments all take on new meaning. The attacker had been playing a long game, building relationships, gaining trust, and positioning themselves to strike when the moment was right. They had convinced everyone that they had moved past their issues with Fatu, that they had matured and let go of their grudge. It was all a lie designed to lower everyone's guard. Nick Aldis made it clear during the press conference that this kind of behavior will not be tolerated in WWE. He emphasized that while rivalries and conflicts are part of professional wrestling, there are lines that cannot be crossed. Premeditated attacks designed to injure rather than compete go against everything WWE stands for. The legal implications of this attack are significant. Nick Aldis revealed that WE's legal team is working with Jacob Fatu to determine whether to press criminal charges. Assault is assault, whether it happens in a wrestling ring or a backstage area. The attacker could face serious real-world consequences beyond their WWE punishment. What's interesting is how this reveal changes the entire landscape of SmackDown. Alliances that seemed solid might not be. People who claimed loyalty might be secretly harboring grudges. Everyone is now looking at each other differently, wondering who else might be plotting something behind the scenes. Trust has been shattered. The attacker's career trajectory has been completely derailed by this revelation. Whatever plans WWE had for them before are now out the window. Their reputation is destroyed, their credibility is gone, and they'll be seen as a pariah in the locker room. Even if they wanted to repair the damage, it might be impossible at this point. However, from a storytelling perspective, this creates incredible opportunities. A desperate attacker with nothing to lose is dangerous. They might double down on their actions, recruit more allies, and escalate the situation even further. Or they might try to seek redemption, though that path would be incredibly difficult given what they've done. The reveal also opens up questions about the Bloodline's response. Jacob Fatu is part of wrestling's most powerful family. How will Roman Reigns, the Usos, and other members of the Anoa'i family react to this attack on one of their own? Will they seek collective revenge? Will this spark a war that consumes all of SmackDown? Nick Aldis made it clear that he will maintain order on SmackDown despite this chaos. He announced increased security measures, stricter policies about backstage conduct, and consequences for anyone who takes matters into their own hands. He's drawing a line and making it clear that while he understands the desire for revenge, he won't allow SmackDown to descend into anarchy. The timing of this reveal is also strategic. By exposing the attacker now, WWE has created anticipation for the eventual confrontation. Fans know it's coming, they know it will be brutal, and they'll tune in every week hoping to see Jacob Fatu get his revenge. It's smart business that will drive viewership. Social media analytics show that this story has driven massive engagement. Hashtags related to the attack and reveal have been trending for hours. YouTube clips of Nick Aldis's press conference have millions of views. Wrestling websites and podcasts are dedicating entire episodes to discussing the implications. This is the kind of story that captures mainstream attention. The production quality of how WWE revealed this information was masterful. Nick Aldis delivered the news with perfect gravitas, the video packages were edited brilliantly, and the overall presentation felt like a major news event. WWE understands how to make moments feel important, and this absolutely felt important. Looking ahead, the road to payback will be must-see television. Every week will bring new developments as Jacob Fatu recovers and prepares for his return. The attacker will have to constantly look over their shoulder, never knowing when Fatu will strike. The tension and anticipation will build to an explosive confrontation. There's also the question of whether this attack will lead to a match stipulation. Will it be a no-holds-barred match? A last-man-standing match? Something even more brutal? Whatever the eventual match is, it needs to match the intensity of the storyline. Fans will expect violence and they'll expect closure. The attacker's accomplices also need to face justice. Will Jacob Fatu go after them one by one? Will he demand they all face him at once? How WWE handles the accomplices will be important for the overall story. Each one represents an opportunity for Fatu to work his way toward the main target. Nick Aldis positioning himself as the authority figure maintaining order while this chaos unfolds is smart character work. He gets to be the voice of reason and justice while still allowing the storyline to unfold organically. His role in this story adds legitimacy and stakes to everything that happens. The reveal also creates opportunities for other feuds and storylines to spin off from this main event. Other superstars might align with one side or the other. Old grudges might resurface in the chaos. The entire SmackDown roster could be affected by the fallout from this situation. Historical wrestling fans are already comparing this to classic revenge storylines from WWE's past. From Austin vs. McMahon to CM Punk's various feuds, wrestling works best when there's real heat and real emotion. This story has both in spades, and if handled correctly, it could become legendary. The attacker's promos going forward will be crucial. How do they justify their actions? Do they show remorse or double down? Do they try to paint themselves as a hero for standing up to the bloodline? Their character work in response to being exposed will determine whether they're a compelling villain or just someone the audience wants to see destroyed. Alright, Wrestling vs. Family, that's the complete breakdown of Nick Aldis revealing Jacob Fatu's real attacker. This story has layers upon layers, and we're only just beginning to see how it all unfolds. The mystery is solved, but the revenge story is just getting started. Now I need to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Were you shocked by who the attacker turned out to be? What do you think Jacob Fatu should do when he returns? How should WWE handle the punishment for the attacker and their accomplices? Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on every twist and turn of this storyline, smash that like button. It helps the algorithm show our videos to more wrestling fans. And if you're not subscribed to Wrestling vs. CC yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Share this video with your wrestling friends so everyone knows who attacked Jacob Fatu. Let's get the entire wrestling community talking about this incredible story. Thank you so much for watching, Wrestling vs. Family. This storyline is going to be incredible, and we'll be covering every single development right here on the channel. Until next time, stay passionate, stay engaged, and keep being the best wrestling fans in the world. Peace.